to I have some keys to the game, but there's nothing specific really there, so we can kind of talk that, and then just players to watch. Then yeah, score prediction. But do you have a score prediction ready, or are you still
Let
kind
me
of
think
thinking
about
on
it.
that?
We're gonna go.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud though.
Yeah.
Not yet.
All right, I feel good.
Hey, and by the way, people were calling me out on the headphones. All right, they had me thinking these things were pink at one point, and I'm like, hold up.
What color are they? They look pink.
I think they're purple. Okay, I think it's the
Okay.
lighting or something. Yeah.
You know what? I'll go with
Yeah.
that's like a nice like light lavender.
There you go. Yes. See, they had me thinking that I didn't know what color it was. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm wearing these things. All right, these things are not pink, but I'm believing the hype. So I had to lock back in.
I like them though. Those are nice.
You know what? They are. It's weird though. It's weird. I don't know. Like your headphones look super fancy, so I'm sure you have the same thing going on, but you really can't hear anything. It's kind of like when we did the oh wait. Okay, wait, maybe not that. That wouldn't make any sense. But the point is, can you hear other things outside of me when I talk? Like, can you hear like around your room? Do you hear noise, or is it like really like?
It does a great job of canceling, but I can hear around my room a little bit. These are only like $75, and honestly, work just forgot that I have them, so I just keep them at home.
Okay. Well, then because like my other ones. Dude, no, those things like you get used to. You get used to a certain kind of headphones and what you can and can't hear. These ones I can't hear like anything but you, so it's weird because when I talk, it sounds
So
like those I can feel it.
Those are good. Those noise canceling.
I guess so. Yeah, and these things, shoot, I don't even know what brand these are. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what these are, but they work. That
I like
for some reason. I appreciate that. Hey, shout out to the chat popping in here. We see y'all. Pink is okay. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You know what? Hey, whatever works. I'm cool with that. I rock with that. My man Jeremiah's in the building. We got my man Let's Talk Lions once again here. Hey, actually do this because you're not alive on your channel. Shout out who you are. All right. Tell the people your middle name, probably your social security number. Throw that in there as well. Also.
Oh, that's good, Dose. Well, yeah, obviously getting to hang out with your guys, Dose, Dion. I'm Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Hanging out. Huge Lions fan, just like the rest of you, because then why else are you here? I do got to throw a shout out to you, Dose, because this is, I think, third or fourth time we've done a pregame show?
Yeah.
And in those 3 or 4 times, I have never known you hit go or go live. I have literally, we're just talking, and then you bring up the chat, and I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
It's happening.
Did you know we went live this time? I really tried to be sneaky this time.
No, you got me good. So when I said the thing about
the
headphones and work, and I was like, oh my God, you got me.
We're rolling. Yeah, we're rolling. It's getting tougher though. Especially when there's an intro, it's gonna be very difficult for you to not know when the thing started. But yeah, so we're back. We're gonna keep this, man. We're gonna go right to the point with this one because we don't know when inactives are gonna drop. We don't really know on anything, but I will say this. All right, chat, let me know what's your favorite jersey that you have of the Lions, because I want to give a shout out real quick here to the Taylor Decker jersey. I think that thing's clean, man. I love that. I love that. So I just want to give that shout out. Hey, and we're both rocking the undershirt. Now mine looks a little bit goofier because I got red under the black shirt, but it's fine. It's cold. I know it's cold where you're at. It's cold where I'm at. So, we're all going through it together. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. Here's what we need to talk about. We got to start here because you haven't heard this. In chat, I'm pretty sure you have, but if you haven't, I'm going to say it. So there was a video, CJ Gardner-Johnson, I think it was like on his Instagram, and he was like working out. And someone in the chat asked him when he was going to be back. And he said the divisional round. He said that he'd be back the divisional round. Then he was like flexing and stuff, like, look, I'm looking good, that kind of thing. So, I mean, look, do you think that's could be reality that he could be back in the playoffs? I mean, look, I'm not trying to act like they put you on the spot, like, oh, give us a diagnosis of what he's going through.
Sure.
But like, do you think that could be legit, or is he just saying stuff?
Yeah, I mean, after my 8 years spent going to med school, I can give a diagnosis. No, I think it's a torn pec. The possibility of playoffs is there. It all just comes down to the severity of that and really what he goes through on the rehab process. I like that he called the divisional round game because he's like, I mean, that's him. He's looking at us Lions fans saying we already won our first playoff game. Like, that's a bold statement. I'll be back for the second one. Is what that man
that's what he was doing.
That's what he just said. So yeah, and that would get you to what, like January 20th. So,
man, yeah, somewhere in that range.
I don't see why not.
Okay,
I don't see why not, and I would love it though. Dose, the secondary has stepped up in some tremendous ways, even without him.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely haven't. And man, today, it's a challenge today. I mean, look, we didn't do a pregame show before the Panthers game, but I think we're going into that. We knew that Thielen was like the only guy, and then everybody else was like here and there. This is not that week. Like, if anything, I feel like you come into a lot of weeks and you're like, okay, the quarterback, like we think with Mahomes, and it's like, all right, I don't love the receivers, but then the quarterback could do something and make the receiver, do something off schedule. This, you kind of get some of that with Mayfield, I feel like, but at the same time, their strength is the receivers. How many teams are built like that? I mean, it makes me think of when the Titans had A.J. Brown before they traded him away, and they were like, the most pure play action team you could think of. Like, yeah, we're going to run the football. We're going to go 2 receivers. We're going to throw to those 2 guys. We got 2 elite big receivers. And that's how it feels like the Buccaneers are built right now. The exact same way, 2 elite receivers. Okay, let's start there, though. You said the cornerbacks have played well. Jerry Jacobs has been doing his thing. I want to touch on this real quick. Does he mean playoffs or the divisional run? Oh, you mean like, I'm sure he's talking playoffs. I think he said divisional round. Because the other one could be like anytime. And also to Jay Let's Talk Lions point, to his point, he might be thinking that we're just going to be winning that playoff game. Like, he's already looking past, or he's thinking we're getting that bye week. He's like, hey, just keep winning. Give me that bye week.
Hey, Cleveland's giving San Fran a run right now. They are. Interesting game.
If they just had a quarterback today, I'm telling you, if Watson would just play.
Bro.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, because like PJ's barely. Yeah, he's barely doing it.
No.
But also the refs are making some egregious calls against Cleveland right now. I'm just saying, I hate always being the guy who's got to point out the faults, but like, 1 or 2 errors. There's been like 4 blown calls against Cleveland today, so I do feel bad for them.
This is true. Okay, I was going to say this because we were talking about picks. Yeah, I think it was Bleacher Report dropped this right before we went live, and they were saying that there was like 4 teams that over 80% of bets were going towards today, and one of them, there was over 80% of the bets on this Lions game were the Lions to Lions -3 in this game. So we were like one of 4 teams, that they were like really high on today. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully, it means good thing. My man Kobe's in the building. He says 22 months. Whoa. I think we can win this game because the Bucs can't run the ball. That's true. Very true. AJ going to have a good game plan, and J-Mo going to have this breakout week. Okay, so let's start with this. I want to get your thoughts on this because we haven't seen the inactives come out yet either. If you guys see them, let me know. I'll throw them up on the screen. But what we know so far, and I just put the key ones on here, we know that St. Brown is back. Okay, we didn't have him last week. And the big ones is we know Gibbs out. Brian Branch is out again. Jonah Jackson is out. Because we always need to start off talking with offensive linemen, let's do it again. All right, we have to. This is what we do. So what do you think they do at the guard position without Jonah Jackson? Big V sounds like he's healthy, and Graham Glasgow's there. What are we looking at for the offensive line?
Now, is Big V actually healthy? Like, do we know? Is he playing today?
He's like full participation. He's in. So I think he's like actually set to play this week. But Dan Skipper did get signed to the 53.
Yes.
So he did bring that up as a possibility. He talked about KO'd a little bit. He kind of snuck that in there. I just wonder a little bit because I was even looking back just to see like the last time Big V's played on the left side. I think you have to go back to like 2018 since he's played on the left side of the offensive line.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me actually double check here. No, you have to go all the way back to 2019, where he played a few snaps on the left side of the offensive line. That was it. Then 2018. So you have to go way back, 2018, 2017 is when he was playing on the left side. And then Graham Glasgow hasn't played on the left side of the offensive line since 2017. So I don't know if I think it's interesting.
Glasgow, he's been doing all right for getting thrown in there and what he's had to do. The O-line has been performing really well. I think it was last week, though. Glasgow did let a guy through who bulldozed Goff. But for the most part, I'm like, you've been plug and play and doing a good job here. Big V, if he's back, though, that changes a lot. Our O-line's getting banged up, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what, man? We've been going through it with our offensive line. It's almost at this point now where the signing of Glasgow, we might have to do this going forward. I mean, we'll see because it's going to shake up after this year with Jonah's new deal if he gets a new deal. But it's like you almost have to come in with like 6 offensive linemen as starters.
Yes.
Just because it's pretty much every week we're missing at least one guy on the interior. The good thing is, though, positive note, Frank Ragnall's going to play. Decker's going to play. That's always That was the thing we were talking about before. Now it's about the interior. I'm with you. I think that's what they do. I think they start those two guys on the inside. At some way, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because to your point, Graham Glasgow has played well, so I think they'll just get him on the field. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know it's flipping sides, but you're playing guard, dude. I just think it's different than tackle. I think he'll be fine in there.
Yeah.
My man, KV Alto with the 25 piece. He says, hot take, Will Harris is a copycat. Good and Brian Branch will make him better throughout. Okay, I like that. No, I like that. Okay, I'll take that. We'll rock with that. Let's. I want to talk a little bit about that with you too in this game because they have a lot of speed at that slot. I mean, look, if I ask people in the chat, name me their slot receivers, I don't know how many answers that we would have that are correct. And that's because they don't have any household really names there, but they got a lot of speed there. So with Will Harris, we saw him last week. How did you feel about Will Harris stepping in last week? How do you think he did?
So to be honest with you, Dose, I listened to the game on the radio, so I didn't get to see a lot of the. I was driving back from the UP. We were celebrating our anniversary, so I listened to the game on the UP or on the radio, and I went back, rewatched a lot of the highlights, but I didn't get to catch the game. So I'm going to turn that one around on you. Let me know how Will Harris did, because for the most part, in the past couple of years, I haven't loved what I've seen out of Harris, but I think I think he's actually being played to his strengths this year compared to past years. So how did Will Harris do?
Yeah, I like what you just said right there about playing to his strength. I will say this, were you listening to Dan Miller call the game?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, top notch. I mean, sometimes it's better than watching it.
Bro, so like we're driving and my wife, she watches all the games with me and she was like, is there a way to watch the games with this guy calling it and not the other announcers? Right. And I was like, well, we could try to set it up where we're playing this.
Man.
Yeah. Like, I guess we could try to figure it out because he was unbelievable.
He's awesome. We used to do, before I got into like the YouTube thing, we would try to do that. The issue we'd always run into is that the radio would be a little bit ahead. So we like hear the play and then they would run it. I guess I don't know if I think the radio is a little bit ahead of the TV. I don't know. Everything's like weird now because everything's streaming. The point is though, he's great. So I'm with you. I think last year Philly game, listen to it on the radio. You don't feel like you miss anything. But I will say this, Will Harris. Yeah, I'm with you. I think you made a good point. Like it feels like that slot role has been really good for him. And I think a lot of it is just he's so physical. Like he's not your like typical built slot corner. I think Brian Branch, he's not a big guy, but he's so loose, fluid, but he hits hard. But then you get Will Harris, and he's like the complete opposite of most people would think would fit that position. He makes me think of how CJ Gardner-Johnson played that role. Like he was a big slot. Will Harris is kind of that for them, where it's like he may not be supernatural all the time in coverage, but to your point, he has clear strengths there. There's things that he does really well, but just because he's a big body playing that spot. So I thought he did pretty well, but I do think today's going to be a challenge just because of how much they attack that spot. And also, again, just the speed they have. Like Will Harris can run, but and look, it would have been a test for Brian Branch today too, because Brian Branch doesn't have that kind of long speed. So we look at the safeties there. Will the Lions? Okay, let's see what Rocked On Podcast Network and Sports Media Group. How do you get that long of a name? Will the Lions sell out to stop Evans and Godwin? Bucks run today with their terrible run blocking and run game. So I don't know if you've seen the stats on the Buccaneers, but coming into this game, they're averaging 3 yards a carry.
I saw that. No. That guy White is averaging 3.3 yards.
There you go. Yes. Yeah, that's rough. That's
and
not great.
We're not letting up over 100 yards. Like Lions our run defense has shown up in big ways. And so I don't see that number going up for the Bucks today.
Yeah. That's got to be a key to the game, right? I mean, that's one of my 3 keys I put together. That's a key.
Yep.
Dominate that matchup.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let me ask you about this guy. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to ask you about this guy. I got to ask you about Sam LaPorta today. Okay. So look, I think defensive, they have way more household name players on defense because everybody knows the line. I think it's from the Super Bowl. I think it really is when Devin White was going crazy and David, and now they're still there. So they have a lot of big names on that defense, that corner, those kind of things. But LaPorta's off to a historic start to the season. I mean, at some point, does it slow down, or do you think because I get to a point where I'm like, okay, you can come into it and say, well, the matchup's there for this week for him to be impactful. But then you get to a point where I think was like St. Brown, where it's not even about the matchup anymore. It's just that I don't care who he's on. We think he's going to win that matchup. So we just need to get him 1-on-1. It's just simple as that. LaPorta, I think, is getting into that category for us offensively. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And what LaPorta has done, it's crazy because I didn't know how good he was going to be coming out of college. And, listening to what Holmes and Campbell had to say about him, like after we drafted him, it was kind of like, okay, we'll see. And, game 1, he was kind of quiet, but then he's been on a burst. And with that burst comes like, this kid he's for real. He's for real. And watching him, there was that one play that Goff, I forget which game it was, where he threw it pretty high and LaPorta just went his vertical on that, getting that ball, pulling it down, hauling it in. I was just like, this kid's going to be a monster. And he has been. So, I mean, the only worry I have about LaPorta today was the injury that he was suffering. I guess, was it a calf, right? It was like a calf strain or this calf week. Injury, so he was kind of going through
like
that.
Swelling or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where's he going to be today? But does Goff need to rely on LaPorta now as much if St. Brown is back and Jamo's back? And I think we're going to see a few more reps at Jamo today, as long as my boy doesn't let the ball go through his hands.
Oh, goodness, man.
That was one thing I heard on the radio, and I was like, son of a bee.
You know what? That was accurate. That was accurate. See, these were my players to watch, and you can see who I put at the top there. You can see that's why I switched to that slide. I think he's gonna have a monster day today.
And I was put money down on him for scoring a TD. Yeah, of course I did. But I just want receptions. I don't need the TD.
Okay. So you did. Did you actually?
Yeah. I put them. Well, I had like a free bonus bet through FanDuel. This episode is not sponsored by them, but it was like, oh, if you bet $5, you get 200. So I was like, I'll put way too much money on Jamo getting a TD.
Jamo getting a touchdown. You know what? This is the thing. We don't talk about this, chat, before this happens, but I do the prop bet picks each week. That was one of my 3 prop bet picks was Jameson Williams gets a touchdown in this game. So there you go.
I like it.
It might just happen. Yeah, we're on the same page there. Because I don't know what would have been his most impactful game to this point in his career. I mean, you could almost argue last week was, just because he hasn't been a big part of our offense yet. But I do think like this is that opportunity to what you said with LaPorta. And when you look at it's like they have so many good players defensively. I just think Jameson Williams' speed just adds something different completely to what this cornerback their cornerbacks are good. Don't get it twisted. They're big, they're long, they're physical, right? We know how those guys are. And it's like, okay, we'll see how that matchup goes with Josh Reynolds. But Jameson just brings something completely different. And it's like, if we could just get him off the line, right? If he's just not stuck at the line, just move him around a little bit, get him to go vertically. Like he's the kind of guy that could shake everything up. Because I think their biggest strength of the team is coverage.
Well, okay, and so that's huge, right? And this is why it was so great to get him back last week, because you're playing a weak Carolina squad, and it's basically, hey, Jamo, get out there and get some real live reps this week to prepare for a good cornerback duo, for a good pass defense in Tampa Bay. So like, this way, now that prep is there. He's got that first game jitters out for the season. You're coming off the gambling suspension. So there's a lot of looming, I don't know what the word is, like not anxiety, pressures, right? There's a lot of looming pressures of, I haven't stepped up. I had the ACL injury. I had and so he also had the hamstring. I guess what I'm trying to get is last week was great for him to get his feet wet. And I think he's gonna be somebody that we see targeted a few times today and a possible TD.
I like that. So you think it was like a little bit of a ramp up game for him? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And T-Mac 2023 was right. That was one of the things when I went back and rewatched some of the game. I saw Jamo blocking. I saw him throwing his skinny twig-like body at people, knocking them on their butts. And I was like, but I was like, good for you, Jamo. Like he did not back down. And I think he's really molding into this group and the team player attitude, like it's easy from the outside as, fanalytics that were like, oh, this guy, he did another thing. It's pissing us off. But like when I look at Jamo, I'm like, he's had a tough start and he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And it feels like it's like, because I think we talked about this, in our last show, but like for Josh Reynolds, we know Khalif will block, Saint blocks. Like they asked him to do certain roles to block. And I almost feel like when you see that over and over and then they put you in, it's like, dude, you have to just go along with it. Like you got to fit yourself into that. And it feels like, I do think like a lot of those kind of things, I would think it's almost like when we brought him back initially and they were like, oh, do we play him on special teams just to get him out there to get some hits? It's like blocking almost in a way I could think could get you into the game. Like you're hitting somebody. It's like you're getting right into it. Now you're not even thinking when you're catching the football.
Yeah.
I also put, you can see, Kalijah Cansey. I don't know what you thought about him coming out. I know a lot of people had a mock to us at one point, Kalijah Cansey this year out of Pitt, the defensive tackle, but it sounds like he's coming back this week. So we talked about the guards, and that's why, because their interior brings a big chance. And they got Logan Hall in there too. I don't want to forget my guy to Houston, a second-round pick. That dude could pass rush too. But let's talk about us a little bit. Ali McNeil. I think Ali McNeil is just getting better and better. Feels like the last couple of weeks he's taking off. I think he goes crazy in this game. How about you? What do you think about that interior? Because like you just said, our run defensive stats are there. I mean, how much of that to you is what the interior defensive line has been? Or like, what has it been to you? Why do you think that's improved so much? We talked about last year. How do you think there were some things that carried over to this year?
Yeah. Ali McNeil is a stalwart up front. Like the guy, I didn't expect him to be this good. And like when he came in 20 pounds, I think lighter, but like still more muscular, just as fast, if not faster, like everything he did to come into this year, you could see it. We're 5 games in and you're like, oh my God, like this guy he's unreal in that position. And he's a name who doesn't get called out enough. I think true Lions fans know him, right? Like we know him, we see him,
yes,
but I don't think he gets as much love as he deserves and credit for what he deserves. So I think you get to see like the sexy pass rushers, like Aiden Hutchinson always moving in on him. But like what Aleem has to do right there at the nose is intense, and he's killing it. He's doing a great job. Isaiah Buggs also in there. I'm excited. I think he's active as well. Again, should be playing. And I think that interior, I like our interior D line. I am hoping on the exterior, I'm hoping to see some more Romeo Okwara.
Okay. Why more Romeo? I got to follow you up on that, because is it because of like you've seen flashes and you want to see more, or is it like you haven't seen the flashes? Oh, okay.
You know, like we paid the guy, and I'm just like, because we saw what he could do. We saw the flashes. We knew like, man, this guy could be a terror. And obviously that injury he had was so brutal, and like trying to come back from it. And then it like retore. The surgery didn't take. I read that article. I was like, oh my God, this poor dude. And so like, even now you're still seeing those moments where you're like, he's good. It's just, can we get it consistent? You know what I'm saying? So I want to see him get more reps and, find that consistency.
Well, quick little shout out there, Aiden Hutchinson. Oh my goodness! Like, hey, I don't think you needed to watch the game to know that he was balling last week. I'm sure Dan Miller let people know that he was doing his thing again. And we were at the stadium, and there was actually a picture that they put like of some of the stats, like where he ranked amongst edge rushers, like first in pressures and those kind of things. And I took a picture of it, I posted. I'm like, where do y'all rank him? So chat, let me know right now, where does Hutchinson rank in terms of edge rushers in the league? I feel like this year he's starting to work his way. I didn't even bring this up. We were doing our prediction show for the midweek, and someone told me they thought that he was one of the front runners for defensive player of the year. And I was like, that never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, I put money on it.
I'm like, wait, when did you do that? Was that before the season, or was that last week?
Yeah, it was. No, it was. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I think it was after game 2. I was like, I'll put money on that one. That like what you're seeing out of him, the kid is unreal, bro. Like, I just, my mind is blown that Jacksonville passed on him, and for what?
Right.
Like Hutch is he's unreal. He's the hometown hero. The amount of texts that I get throughout a game where it's one word and it just says Hutch from people. They're just like, Hutch. That's all they got to say to me.
Is it
Hutch?
Yeah. They're going to make an emoji for him at some point here soon. That's probably the next thing. Hey, but seriously though, like that, because I never even like thought of it like that. But then when you start to look like, and then the numbers start to back it up, it's like, oh, hold up, he actually might be in that, because even if he doesn't win it this year, and I hope he does, because you put some money on it, so there's probably a good payout on that, I'm assuming. But I would assume the odds are, I'm assuming that's pretty good. So, but my thing is, like, at very least, he's seemingly pushing himself into that category where now every week it's like you're just expecting to be dominant, and it's almost like coming into this year after last year, it was like, not getting talked of, like, this guy could actually get a lot better. Like, what if this guy gets better? And now we're just assuming that every week he's going to go crazy. So I don't know. I just had to give that shout out, because this week they have 2 good tackles.
Yep.
But let's say he starts cooking these tackles this week, and it's like, hold up. I mean, because I'm telling you, I'm assuming they're going to try to get him on Gadecki, the right tackle, not Tristan Wirfs. But if he's getting sacks, or like some of those, they love to run the ball, play action, those kind of things. If he makes plays out of that, like you get to a point where it's like, man, every week this guy's going to be crazy. It is not going to matter what they do against him. Yeah. There you go. Game changer.
He is a game changer. If I'm playing Madden and I get to pick between the 11 dudes, I'm going Hutch. That's who I'm playing as. And I'm like, I'm just coming in every freaking time.
You know what? He is great on Madden. We could take that little side path real quick. Oh my goodness, this guy develops into such a good player on Madden. I'll tell you, this is my tips and tricks. Okay, if you're playing Madden, sign the dude to like a 10-year deal. Just make that thing massive because he only gets better on Madden. I don't know if it's realistic, but he literally just gets better every year. So that's what I do. I start a franchise. Yeah, 10 years. Just all right. That guy's not going anywhere.
10 years.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. You lock that up. Now I think I cheat a little bit in Madden. Like what I do is a lot of things are not realistic. Like I'll sign like a backup quarterback to like 6 years. Just because he's young. So I'll decide I'm like, that's not realistic. Like that guy would not sign that deal with me, but I'm gonna do it. I give out massive contracts. Probably not you know what? I got a little Bob Quinn in me when I'm signing contracts. I'm gonna be honest.
Don't say
just
that.
A little bit. There's just a little bit in there. I don't give no prove it deals. You already proved it, my guy. Your overall looks good. You're in 4 years.
You're in.
You're in.
That's right. I used to
off the injuries. You're not gonna
last
get
time
hurt,
I played Madden was 04. It was Madden 04. I think that was Michael Vick, right? And I used to create customized players, give them all like super low stats. You sign them for nothing, and then you can re-edit them, and I just boost them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was actually cheating.
You were legitimately cheating. You took
100%.
it to a whole nother level. We were here, and then you just oh my goodness. See, they kicked you off Madden. That's what happened. They just
I haven't been
why you haven't
since.
That's a permanent ban right there. They're not having that. Anyways, my man just said the inactives dropped, so these are the official inactives. So I'll throw that on the screen. This is the Lions side. Hey, just take a peek. Let me know what speaks to you when you're looking at this.
Man, I hate that you do this to me every time.
You know what? It's so I can actually search something else in the background.
No, that's fair. Hey, man, good for you. I'll tell you what I think about this. Brian Branch, that one makes sense. Let's just let him keep resting before we need to bring him out. I think our corners can handle what we got against Tampa Bay today in a gunslinging Baker Mayfield. I'm expecting at least one pick from Baker, just because the boy loves to throw it. The Jahmyr Gibbs one hurts, especially after losing Zonovan Knight.
Right.
And I'm sure there are a slew of Lions fans out there screaming about Jahmyr Gibbs and the pick value, and I can't believe it. And he's now not played 2 games. And it's like, but we got Monty. Let's all just relax. And Craig Reynolds, I think, is taking a pretty big step.
Yeah.
I think he's taken a pretty big step this year. What we saw out of him just specifically last week, I was like, dang, okay. Like Craig Reynolds he's showing up. He's showing up. So Jahmyr Gibbs sucks. Stephen Gilmore, man. The Jonah Jackson one probably hurts the most. Right. If I'm being honest. That's the one that that's the one that hurts.
I'll make just a couple quick points to that. So first off, Stephen Gilmore being inactive. The interesting thing there is that means Khalil Dorsey. I think last time we did our pregame show, we talked a little bit about him going on there for illness. So he's probably up this week. I don't think he'll play, but that's something to keep in mind. That's probably why he's on there. And then, like you said with Gibbs, they brought up Ozigbo from the preseason. They brought him up. He's active today. So that'll be the running back 3. But you made a good point because Craig Reynolds was balling last week, and I shouldn't let that slide. He was doing his thing last week. He had like a stretch there. We're like, dude, his runs he had some of the most impressive runs, I think, of the day, even including Montgomery's. Like, he was breaking everything. He may have earned himself some more touches this week, but he's going to have to get touches. And Broderick Martin again. I thought maybe this week he'd be active, but, it wasn't necessary. I just thought maybe they would do it this week to play the run more so, just like get an extra big body out there. And then the other one that I think is not on here, well, actually, that's kind of weird. Oh, Josh Paschal, because Josh Paschal's probably not activated yet, so that's probably why he's not on here. But Paschal's not active. But I think that'll be soon. I think that's on the way. And then the Bucs actually just put theirs out. So I'm going to show that real quick, even though there's yeah. Aaron, you know what? I'm going to show this list and y'all let me know. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put you on the spot. Just because I want to see here. So you're looking at this, right? How impactful is what we're seeing right here? Like, wow.
Well, yes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot happening here. Okay, let's see.
Right.
Derek Pitts.
Yep. Derek with 2 R's, 1K. Derrek.
I honestly don't know. I'm looking at Pitts and I'm like, I have no idea who that dude is. No, I don't think this is really impactful much at all.
No, it's not.
I think
yeah.
This does not affect us. I wish that there was Mike Evans on there, not for his safety but I mean, hey, I think the dude's gonna be taking a few less reps today because of that hamstring. So to answer your question, I don't think this is going to affect us at all. The boys got to show up. Boys got to play. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and the fact that my man put Nelson is out due to injury tells me that the other ones are probably just healthy scratch. There's really nothing going on here. Here's the point. Here's where
they had a bye.
Take away from this. Yes, great point. Actually, let's talk about that real quick. 1 second. The main thing to take away from this is just that looking at this tells you how healthy they're getting with the bye week, like you just pointed out. That just tells you where they're at health-wise. So they're in a really good spot. The big one would be Shaq Barrett. That means he's in this game because he's not on this list. He was the only guy I think that was questionable yesterday, and it was because of illness. So he's going to play. So good to see he's healthy. He probably had some noodle soup. I mean, like, what's your go-to when you're sick? I mean, I don't. what do you like? Yeah. Are you like one of those kind of guys that like, hey, can you give me a Sprite? Like.
No, I haven't had soda in years, like literally years. I'm more of like, I'll probably just drink tea. Probably not going to eat much. I don't really feel like it.
But a hot tea?
Yeah, hot tea. And like, I don't really like a lot of teas, but I'll take a little jasmine and honey.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what jasmine is, but honey's fire. So I'll give you that.
Never had jasmine tea.
I have no idea what that is. Is that the flavor of the tea?
Yeah. Well, text me your address. I'll send you a box.
No, but here's the thing, right? So that's a great point because when you have that hot tea with the honey, oh my goodness. If you have the sore throat, which is the worst, I think that's the top-notch solution, because you still want to drink something, but that is money. Anyway, okay, I want to ask you about that real quick though, because I don't know what to make of it. And you got the experience, okay? You've been around, you know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
No, I was gonna ask you that. I'm sorry.
I don't like where this is going.
No, I was gonna ask you, with the bye week, what do you think that means? Like what does that mean? Do you think, because I know for us coming off a bye week, it usually means good things outside of being healthy. Like, does that have like a massive impact coming into this game? And I heard this morning. I don't know what this means, but they said that Baltimore elected not to have a bye week. I guess after you go to London, the NFL has to give you a bye week if you want it. Then
they elected not to.
They elected not to. I'm like, hold up. Do they have a bye week? So I don't even know. They must. I got to think they have one later in the year. If they just don't have a bye week, I'm shocked. I don't know why they would do that. But they're going right into our game. They're not taking no time off. So that could have an impact, of course. But what does that mean for this week? Like, do you think that gives them an edge this week for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps them out, coming in, everybody being so much more well rested. I mean, look at, you got our guys who are banged up 7 days later running back out there, and they've had now when did they last play? Is it probably a 10-day rest is my guess? Even if it's minimally 10 days, right? Maximum 14 days. That's enough time for some of these guys like Mike Evans to feel better, to get better, to be like, okay, that strain goes away. He's good to play. So yeah, quite frankly, man, the bye, that's vital. Give the guy some rest. I don't like a super early bye for a team like the Lions. I don't want a week 6 bye. I don't want a week 5 bye. I like week 9 because you get halfway through, you breathe, and then you keep it going. So yeah, I think that bye is going to play in big for Tampa, which is where my record or my score prediction will come in later.
Okay, we'll get to that real soon here, because I just want to. Bucks hope Pitts is next year's Zion McCollum. Yeah, but Zion McCollum's been great this year. I will say that's the one thing I'm interested in, because we talked about I think their biggest strength is the defense, is what they do in coverage. And I'll actually throw my keys up, what I put on the screen. But the reason I think that's interesting is because Carlton Davis is coming back this week, and Zion McCollum has been starting, and Jamel Dean's also going to play. It sounds like they're not going to start, who I think, when I was just watching, because I was just watching, like I thought McCollum was definitely their best cornerback. So that's like really interesting to me that they wouldn't put him on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it seems like he's earned that spot. So I just think it's going to be interesting to watch as the game goes on, because I'll throw this number at you. Jamel Dean this season, I believe he's allowing a 147 passer rating. Carlton Davis, he returned last week against the Saints. He's been fine. I think he's been good, but even Zion McCollum, I think, has outplayed him. So I'm just interested if, Josh Reynolds is doing his thing one-on-one. I think they're going to try to get St. Brown against him one-on-one. And I think their slot corner is their weakest matchup one-on-one. That's why I think I think he's going to have a really big day, but I'm interested in that because I could see them potentially moving McCollum in at some point in the game if it's not going extremely well. Here were my 3 keys. So that's what I put right on the bottom. Find one-on-ones, simplify, because they were 7th in coverage efficiency. I want to ask you this. We're looking at the keys to the game. I'm going to put you on a spot. These are my 3 keys. All right. Give me a key to this game, or not even maybe a key. Maybe give me a player to this game to watch for. Someone that's going to have a really big game, offense, defense, special teams. Who do we need to watch for today?
I really think today Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have a big game. Him coming off the injury, the dog in him, and with J-Mo now out there to kind of pull the defense into other areas, other directions, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to step up and show us hey, he's wide receiver 1 and he's wide receiver 1 for a reason. So that's to me, a key player offense-wise to putting up some fat yards for us. I think it's going to be St. Brown. Yeah.
I like that one. That was see, look, that's the thing though. I don't like the prop bets for St. Brown. They're always terrible. Yeah. His over-under is starting at 74. I'm like, 74? Yeah.
No, I always go to alternate, hit plus 40.
There you go. Yeah, because I was making my picks for this week, and I was like, well, I think St. Brown's in for a big week, just like you just said. So I was like, let me go see what that looked like. And it was 74. I'm like, dang, I don't even know if I would have put this in there, because that's a huge week.
No, but what's so good, dude, is with J-Mo out there now. So right. if they're covering St. Brown all day, well, oh my God. Josh Reynolds has proven his worth in multitudes of ways. Khalif is always that Swiss Army knife. Now J-Mo's out there, and what's he going to do? Plus Sam LaPorta. It really has opened up such a dynamic passing game for the Lions. So, if J-Mo starts pulling a little attention, hey, maybe that's when you find St. Brown. That's where you find, I don't know, dude. It's exciting. I think today's going to be a big game in the passing yards.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I did put that one in there because I thought he would have a big game. My man Flash Gordon, I think he's a Bucks fan, so I got to give a shout out here. He says Bucks have answers to Amon-Ra. Christian, I couldn't figure out how to say dude's last name, so I was just calling him Christian by his first name. I think he's their weakest matchup personally. In coverage personally, I think he's their. And here's the thing: if they give him that matchup, St. Brown will cook your top corner. All right, we've already seen that, and I'm not just talking about the Bucks. I'm just saying in the past we've seen that already this year. You can put your number 1 on him; he's going to go to work. So to me, it's if they're going to put that matchup, but they play so much zone coverage. I'm assuming we're not going to consistently see that. And then he says the safeties. I think they have great safeties. I mean, Antoine Winfield. I think he's a house. I think he I say household name, but NFL. But the point is, around NFL fans, I think everybody knows who that guy is or knows of him. Mm-hmm. He is a playmaker at safety, and getting Ryan Neal back is going to be massive. But I think to this point, just what my man said right here, because this is what I'm thinking when I read this, right? Sure. They have answers between Winfield Jr. and Ryan Neal. Last year, Ryan Neal was shutting down the 49ers tight end. But what that makes me think is, okay, so if your answer to my tight end is safety, that means I have one-on-ones on the outside.
Sure.
That's immediately what that tells me. If your safety is his answer, that means I got a one-on-one, someone on the outside. So to me, that's where it comes back to what I said, find one-on-ones on offense. So if that's not the one-on-one, because maybe they put a safety and a linebacker on the guy, cool. Josh Reynolds versus Jamel Dean, who wins that matchup? That's why I think Jameson is in line to, if he's going to have that massive game, this would be the week to do it. That's when he's going to have that. This is the week, man. And if they take him away, just him being on the field, if they're not going, they're going to have to me, put a safety. They're going to have to slide him that direction, because we saw last week how much they were putting him in a slot and he was just going vertical. It's dude, that just makes him an issue already. So if you're not going to throw extra attention to that, and that safety's dealing with my tight end, this is exactly the way you just said. Watch out for J-Mo. This would be the week for him to go crazy. I think this is the biggest week for him. And watch, he'll probably have 0 receptions because I'm saying this, but I do think this will be the game. That's how it always goes, right?
That's how it goes.
Next week he'll go nuts. I'm like, this ain't his week, man. He's going to be locked down. He'll go crazy. What's up, my man? Lions Talk by Chat Sport. I think that's my man Mike in the building. Shout out to Mike in the building, man. Okay. So I think it's about that time. Juice talks football. I see you. He says he want to see Monty pop off for 100 again, over 100 again. So I'll ask you that, and then we're going to go into our score predictions.
Sure.
Montgomery has been massive. You brought up Craig Reynolds. You said it like it's a calming thing, right? It's like, okay, you brought up how Jahmyr Gibbs, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't like looked for it, but I'm sure it's out there. I'm assuming people are bringing up Jahmyr Gibbs missing a couple games, absolutely, because I don't think Swift has yet, so I know it's being brought up there. Yep. But when you have Dave Montgomery, it's a calming impact, right? Because you just know, like, oh, that dude's a dog. Yeah. We got that guy. We're okay. And so my question for you is, if I put you on the spot, over under 100 yards, does he go over today again?
Oh, let's go over. Let's take the over.
Okay. I mean, that.
He put up 121, then 109. I mean, really, the game against Green Bay, he had 32 carries, dude. 32 carries. Last week, 19 carries. So he's almost splits the difference, still hitting over 100 yards. I think today he's going to, I say over. Let's put it on it. Let's just go for it.
I love that. No, I absolutely love that. So, and that's, I always feel like it comes back to this in some way. I don't know why it always seems to come back to, who wins on the trenches. But I do think, again, this week, as much as I think their secondary is really good, their run game defense, the stats aren't terrible. Like if you just look at, let's say,
but it's not,
they're not bad. That's exactly it. So if you like pull up their Pro Football Reference stats, like that's not that bad. But I think the issue is when you start to watch them, and you're like, "Ooh, Vita Vea is not even dominant against the run." I'm saying that he might go crazy. I don't think he is. I don't think he's dominant against the run. And we got Frank Ragnow. Like we got that dude on the inside that we paid for that reason.
Yeah.
I look at this and say, if you look at, I think it's their run stop win rate is 23rd. Or it's either 23rd or 32nd. That's a massive difference. I understand, but it's one of the two. Either way, it's not good.
I thought it was in the 20s, but
23rd. Then let's go 23rd.
Yeah,
okay,
but you're right. It's not great.
It's not great. And the run game is only bad because of the Philly game. Well, yeah, shout out to Philly. They have a dominant offensive line, but I'll say this. I don't think we're far off behind.
No,
we're right there. And if we want to say this, because you talked about Graham Glasgow, he's played pretty well. Or, you talk about the one time that, maybe give a little bit of heat. But in the run game, I think that's where he's been his most impactful. So, in Big V, that he can make a big impact there. Like, that's where the Lions have always said that their strength is. Dan Campbell points it out all the time. I think they're going to do well running the ball in this game. So, I'm going to throw it to you now. You know what? I won't do it to you like that. I'll say mine first, and then I'll throw it to you.
All right.
I'll throw it to you, okay? Or should we do it at the same time? We may have the same exact score prediction. Maybe we should do that and just see if it's
all right. Well, we'll try this. It might be a lot of jargon all at once, but I like it.
On
I like
13.
what you're doing here.
All right.
On 13?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna count down from 13?
Yeah. 13. No. Let's count down from 3. That's too much. Okay. You gotta get it. All right. 3, 2, 1. 21.
24, 20.
20. Ooh.
What'd you say?
What? I actually don't know what I said. I was like trying to listen to you, so I started and then I lost.
I said 24.
I heard yours. You got us winning though.
Oh yeah, Lions 24-20.
That's what we like to hear, Chad. Let's get it fired up, baby. He took my prediction again. No, I'm playing.
I
have 21-13. No. I went 21-13. Okay. I'm done. Here's my. I came to this conclusion. I'm done predicting field goals. Until Dan Campbell shows me that he's going to kick another field goal, I'm just done.
You know what? You actually bring up a great point. Can I take mine back?
You can. Yeah, you can. We have about an hour, a little over an hour for the game. You can absolutely take it back. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
How we do this, Chad.
Well, you're right, though, because now that I'm really thinking about it, he does not seem to trust Riley Patterson at all.
He does not kick the field. He does not, man.
He doesn't. And like there was that one where we were within how many yards? It was like 35 yarder, and he was like, not a chance.
right. We're going for that.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
Huh. Wow.
So I'm basing my pick on that. My man Crazy Clown, 21-17. So he's kind of in the same ballpark. I hope it's 40-0 Lions. I love that. 35-17 Lions. That's a big time prediction there. Juice Talks Football. I see you. That's scoring a lot of points. I couldn't get to that spot, but honestly, I couldn't get there last week against Carolina. And then we dropped 40, whatever. A lot of it was the turnovers we forced.
All right, Dose.
I would love it.
I'm changing it. You have swayed me on the field goals. It's gonna be a we're gonna go. Oh no. Hold on. Come back to me. Keep reading theirs.
Okay. My man Jordy says 31-10, 38-17. See, this is why it's great to be 4-1 because these are the predictions. This is what I like to see, Chad. My man Michael, 42-17. Like, yo, I love this.
28-20.
Y'all are more brave than I am.
28-20.
I love that. So you cheated, clearly. You just put
100%.
7 on both of mine. Yeah, you
100%.
just put my score. You
100%.
know what, though? I love it. That's good. They'll probably kick field goals today because I said that. But I was like, look, I need to see it. You know,
How many
it's
picks?
like you gotta prove to me.
How many picks today?
I think we get 1. I do think we get at least 1. And I'm gonna go Tracy Walker.
Oh,
I'm going Tracy. I know. It was hard. I was like, I felt so comfortable. I was like, I could just say Kirby Joseph because there's a really good chance that if he touches the ball, he's picking it. So me putting Tracy is like, even if he's there, he may not pick it.
Yeah.
But I just think he's going to have that opportunity to show up today.
Okay.
And I think it's going to happen right over the middle of the field like it normally does with Baker. And I think he's going to jump a route, pick it off. He'll be playing because Tracy, he likes to get aggressive, right? So he'll be playing like right on the first down. I think he'll be sitting lurking right there. He'll try to come back over the middle and he'll just jump something, pick it off. And that'll be the swing that we need in this game because I don't think offense is going to be perfect today. So that'll be the difference.
No, okay. I like it. That's good.
I mean, you threw the pick. I mean, do you think we're going to pick today too?
I think Baker's throwing a pick too. I think Goff is clean today, but you know what just happened is I said it and now it's not. And
yeah, you just ruined it.
I don't understand how he has done so well without throwing interceptions and then just like threw 3. Granted, non-consequential in the end, but I guess the one against Seattle was consequential, but the other 2 were whatevers.
Yeah, he's done pretty well this year. Chat seems to be on board. I smell an unfortunate golf ball. Oh, don't do that. I'm not even going to finish reading that one. You need to stop. Who said that? Come on, Isaiah. Look, man. All right, we got to end this because now things are just getting really bad really fast. We just took a whole left turn. We started talking about picks, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about mistakes. We need to stop.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Hey, chat, we're going to end this right here. My man, Let's Talk Lions. We've been doing pregame shows for most of the season. That'll probably continue, hopefully. We've been doing really well with the pregame shows. We've only had 1 loss in here with the pregame shows. And
that's true.
After that one, we didn't even meet up post-game. Okay. We were so darn disappointed that didn't even happen. But we've been pretty good outside of that. I appreciate you joining once again. And let the people know where they can find you just because, again, you're not live. And then also, you got to leave us with some words of wisdom. I got to put you on the spot.
Absolutely. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for, let me hang out, Dose. I appreciate it. I'm Jay from Let's Talk Lions. You can find me over on the YouTubular.com at Let's Talk Lions. Pretty simple. Words of wisdom.
Hold up. Colleen's got the merch in their picture. I got to just point that out real quick. Colleen's got the merch in the picture. That is beautiful.
Wow, that's literally her avatar. That's amazing. Incredible. Is that your aunt?
No. Unless I don't know who my aunt is. That is not my aunt. I mean, hey, the point is though, that's my favorite one. The seatbelt. Shout out. Hey, maybe Jerry gets number 4 today. He's been cooking.
I like it. My words of wisdom. I don't have any other than George Kittle's real salty that we ran the play first. It ain't wisdom. It's just truth.
I love that.